Hey guys, it's Wismo here with a brand new what if. What if deku was Augustine? Now let me explain, if you don't understand. So in this what if, Deku is basically Augustine from Infamous Second Son. So he has her concrete powers, and also maybe her entire concrete army. So basically he's OP. Before we start, don't forget to like and share the video. While also hitting the subscribe button and notification bell. Also check out my Discord in the description below. But now that I've told you guys this, let's start the what if. So when Deku was born, he was quirkless. Well, this story is a little different, because when Nico found out her son was quirkless, he treated him horribly. She would abuse him, which made his life even worse, because when he went to school, he would be beaten up, made fun of. One day, when he was only a 10-year-old, something happened to Deku. He was just minding his own business when he saw Kachan picking on a kid. So he decided to go and help the kid. When he did, Kachan started beating him so hard that his arm broke. And when his mom found him, instead of being angry at Kachan, telling him he would be alright, she started skinning him, telling him how useless he can be. And now she has to go and waste her money on taking him to the doctor. After screaming at him for so long, he decided to run away, but when he did, he got hit. Yeah, Inko hit him. And when she did this, Deku realized that his life sucks. That he should start and that he should leave and never look back. Even though he had a broken arm, was crying, he could just stood there and didn't even care. Cause she walked home and didn't even call the police. But what she didn't know was that Deku chose to run into a forest. But after a couple of hours, he started to cry due to the pain of his broken arm. When he thought of going home, he said, "Screw it! Why should he go to a home that barely feeds him and a mom that abuses him?" As it became darker, suddenly feeling colder, that's when he saw a cave. Since he didn't want to freeze, he went inside. So as he went inside, he noticed something. Instead of the cave being made of stone, it instead made of concrete. But as he started to walk, he noticed that some sort of doors were inside of it, made of metal. When Deku walked in, he started to notice that the cave is much bigger than it looked, and it seemed to be some sort of living quarters. So when he walked around, he found a kitchen, and whatever free kitchen site, there was some sort of garden, but it seemed to be really old and unused. What almost made Izuku freak out was when he walked into a giant room with a massive row of tubes. In the beginning of this row was some sort of rock. It wasn't a normal rock. For some reason it was black and had purple glowing veins. But instead of running away, they could decide to go near it. For some reason, he started to walk up the stairs. When he touched the rock, something happened. He felt every part of himself get filled with power. And then a massive explosion happened, which sent Deku flying. Instead of crying in pain, every part of him felt amazing. Until he looked at his arm. But his arm is no longer broken. But that soon changed. Because when Deku looked up, he saw each tube in front of him started to glow. And he started to break, which scared Deku. But then he almost pooped himself when he saw some sort of soldier with cement on his arm. So Deku tried to run. When he started to run, he heard something jump. Then he saw another soldier who was big as All Might land in front of him. But then the soldier started talking to Deku. And the soldier asked, "Why the hell are you here? How did you wake us up?" When Deku saw this, he screamed and told him to let him go. When he screamed, he put his hand up, which made a giant cement iceberg. Basically, Todoroki's blizzard move, or iceberg, made of cement. The soldiers saw this, made them ask one question: "Since we're at Prime?" And one of the soldiers started walking up, and just so either can have a mother figure in this and become corrupted, they say this soldier was a lady. But she isn't Augustine, because instead of the soldier is blonde, in her mid-30s. When she walked with Deku, she asked if he's lost. They were responding with no, but then the soldier asked if Deku knew where his mom was, if he knew her phone number or something. The minute she said this, Deku started freaking out and started crying. Think they just want to go back. He's going to see his mom, because she will hit him, and saying that she's mean. The lady had an evil smirk, then asked Deku if he wanted to stay with them. and they will feed him and protect him, even show him how to use his new powers. When Deku heard this, he asked her if they show him how to use his powers, can he become a hero? The lady saying, of course, because every hero once a hero at a point. She then points to all the weakened soldiers. When she just asked Deku his name, Deku was telling her that his name is Itsuku, but he calls him Deku. And then she told Deku that her name is Annabelle, but he can call her Anne. She then tells one of her soldiers to take Deku and clean up this place. When the soldiers take Deku away and start to clean the place up, one of the biggest soldiers goes up to Anne and asks her why the hell are they taking care of some kid. That's when Anne looks at the soldier and sighs. Tells him that it's obvious they've been sleeping for at least a couple of decades, and nobody woke them up. That means Augustine's defeated, which means that the UPs no longer exist. Which means that they're probably wanted criminals. Not to mention, we both saw the massive amount of cement he made. He didn't do it on purpose, which means once he's older, he might be able to restore the UP. First, we need to fix this place up and send some of our soldiers to collect some money, if you catch my drift. When she said this, the soldier looked at her and then asked if she was sure. They soon left when they realized that she was serious. After she told them, they soon left. But now we go back to Deku. But even though Deku's scared, he's still working with the soldiers. That's when he decides to ask them, what are they going to do with him? And the soldier responded with, I don't know, and he doesn't care. Every time Deku asked the question, he said he didn't know. But after walking up for a little, they hear something fall, which makes the soldier run to the sound. But when he gets there, he sees a soldier on the floor in a broken balcony. They soon get up. Two of the soldiers make a cement pillar to fix the balcony. But then they ask the soldier a question. He asks, how did they all have the same quirk? Which confuses the soldier. He asks, what the hell is a quirk? Then Deku explains that a quirk is like a superpower. How did they not know about quirks? Especially since at least 80% of the population has quirks. And then he got to eye level with Deku and asked him one question. Do cops have powers? So Deku said, yeah, but they're not to use them, unless they're a pro hero. So when the soldier got up, said, oh damn. But then he ran saying that he has to warn them. Before he can, something happens in the city. A giant explosion made of cement. The minute they walk out of smoke, they see two men jump in front of them. When the soldiers see them, they ask, what the hell is with the costumes? The hero just said that they're under arrest. But the hero is known as Komoni Woods and Death Arms. The minute Death Arms tries to throw a punch, he literally gets punches and flying. Before Death Arms could get up, his leg gets stabbed with concrete. The soldier responded with, what the hell are these guys supposed to be doing? But then Komoni Woods says, stop! And tries to attack the soldier by going from his hand into spikes. When he tries this, a massive wall of cement shows up. That's when Death Arm hears a gunshot and then sees Komoni Woods on the floor with him grabbing his side. Before the soldier can finish them off, the soldier tells him that to put the gun down. Cause he just got a message saying that these guys are basically like super cops. If they killed them, they're going to be every paper. So it's better to contain them and get out of here. But then they hear Death Arm say, they're not going to get away with this. But before he could finish his sentence, he just spotted he covered cement, including his face. But luckily they made some air holes for him. He breathed. When they got back to their base, he asked, how the hell are the super cops? But then everybody is called to one room and explains that during their sleep, since over the years, people have evolved to powers called quirk. Now it's so normal that at least 80% of the population have powers. But this isn't good news, because just like in the past, people are treated differently. For example, even though it was beaten and abused every day just because he didn't have any powers. Those same people who tell him that he's useless and lame are treated like gods because they got lucky. So instead of joining those stupid heroes, they're going to bring balance, making sure people will be treated equally and make sure the world doesn't treat monsters like they're all that. And we're going to start with this little guy. She then points to the little Deku. before we could take, but before we can take this world, we need to train this little guy. We're not gonna spend a third of the video explaining Deku's childhood. So we're gonna do a time skip, and during the time skip, Deku was trained by multiple soldiers. And sorry for the background noise. But as he's trained, he knows how to use his powers really well. If you ask me, he's around distance level, but when his cement powers. So he's strong, but he will still lose a fight with Todoroki and All Might. But he will win against Contra and other Class 1A. But like I was saying, this 4 years time skip, Deku and his army have gotten pretty famous. And when I mean famous, I mean every time he goes outside, he's supposed to watch out for men in black ops uniform with cement powers. But this isn't the only thing Deku's looking at, because while he's out, in the distance, Deku's currently looking at the most popular school. After a minute, Deku just scoffs and begins to walk home. He sees a couple people picking on some kids. So Deku decides to walk up to them. Guess what is going on? All he hears is, "We're beating some quickest nerd up." Before they can even finish their sentence, they feel pain in their leg. And that's when the two thugs realize that the kid in front of them is one of those cement soldiers. After they realized this, they started begging for their life. Before they could, got covered in cement, which left the little kid horrified. But he knew that Deku was putting his hand out for him to grab. And he did. Deku put him up. But after the kid said thank you, Deku started talking. He asked if the young boy is treated well at home, despite being quirkless. But the kid gave him a look, and responding, "Of course. They treat me well. Why wouldn't they?" When Deku heard this, his expression changed, and he told the kid to go home. But as Deku begins to walk home, he questions, why the hell is that kid treated normally? And he wasn't. But what Deku doesn't know is that currently, somebody is watching him. And I mean searching someone, I mean Shigaraki and Kiriki. But Shigaraki is confused, because he's asking Kiriki, why does Master want to watch some 14-year-old? But then Kiriki explains that everyone believes that this kid is the future leader of the infamous Cement Army. If we can make a deal with them, we can figure out how hundreds of people have the same quirk. When Deku begins to wander in the forest, he sees a sign warning not to come near, and there's where Adam is. But as Deku begins to walk, it's a giant kid that was made much bigger than when he was a little kid. But you soon realize the kid is made of cement and broken rocks. But as Deku begins to walk, he sees a giant cement wall. Then Deku pulls out some sort of walkie-talkie and asks somebody to open the door. That's when he sees that the cement walls begins to disappear. Deku walks in. He's greeted by two giant soldiers who shoot Deku as he walks in. But as Deku walks in, he knows that it isn't as dark or dirty like he used to be. The place has been rebuilt and repaired. Notice some of the rooms contain plants. There's some massive cement pillars keeping the place standing. But Deku ignores this. He begins to walk into a room full of hundreds of tubes. But some of the tubes are either broken or open. But then Deku asks Anne if they can wake up anymore. But Anne soon responds by telling him that they can't wake up anymore because they don't have enough room for the soldiers to sleep, or enough water or food to feed them. But they're talking, they soon hear a voice. When they turn around, they see Shigaraki and Kiriki. Before they could speak, at least 10 soldiers point their guns at them, asking them to unfight themselves. And Shigaraki had just introduced himself as the League of Villains, which just made Deku laugh, which pisses off Shigaraki. If he could do anything, Kiriki points out that if he does anything, he's probably could get shot or stabbed with cement. But after Shigaraki calms down, he begins to explain that their master sent them to make a deal with them. Before Shigaraki can explain, Deku sits in front of him and asks Shigaraki 2 questions. What do you want us to do, and what are you going to pay us with? But after Shigaraki gestures to Kiriki, as soon as he does, Kiriki drops a box of small blast shards. Then Shigaraki explains that if he joins the league, and they will improve their base, and also give them more of these rocks the master claims you need. Then, what Shigaraki didn't expect, the master Deku heard this, he said, "Deal." But his group aren't joining him. The league instead the league is hiring them. Shigaraki scratches his neck, but he soon asks, what do they call his army? Because currently everybody's calling you the Cement Army. What's your actual name? Deku responds by telling Shigaraki that they're the DUP and he's the leader. But they call him Deku. But guys, I'm gonna end the video here. I'm pretty sure the video is like 15 minutes long. So I'm gonna end the video here. But before I do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We're also checking out my Discord, description below, so you can go beyond plus 8.